Hello. Thank you for watching. A little while ago, I had the idea to look for videos on the internet that were questions for Mormons. There's a variety of videos out on the internet, maybe essays too, that are questions for fill-in-the-blank group. Here's my response to one of those videos. It was put up by a YouTube channel named Catholic Digital Studio. Is the Bible inspired? The format of this video is the person is speaking, and there's obviously an audience behind the camera. Sometimes I think you saw the head or two of the people in the audience, or hear them make a comment. This video was about 10 minutes long, and it was part of a bigger speech that he was giving. You could tell that it wasn't the only thing he said at that meeting. So is the Bible inspired? Yes. Moses, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John were true prophets, true apostles. And the Bible is true as far as it's translated correctly. This was a Catholic guy, and I think these questions were... He was believing that these questions would prove Catholicism true and Mormonism false. But the Bible being inspired does not prevent God from inspiring other books, or Mormonism being true. Are correct books in the Bible? Now, you might have asked this question because Catholic Bibles have what is called the Apocrypha. Most or all of the apocryphal books fill in the gap in between Malachi at the end of the Old Testament and the New Testament, and the Catholics look at them as part of the Bible, equal with all the other books of the Bible. Protestants call them Apocrypha, which means something like hidden or uncertain origin. The word Apocrypha is based on it's a transliteration or Anglicanization of a Greek word. So I don't see how that question would prove Catholicism right and Mormonism wrong. The way Mormons look at the Apocrypha is... God told us about it, so it's not just the way Mormons look at it, but maybe we'll change our mind in a few years. It's something God told us. We could call it a dogma. Joseph Smith was going through the Bible and receiving revelations from God about what errors in translation had been made. So in other words, what those true prophets way back when really actually wrote, or what the best English translation to what they actually wrote would have been. And Joseph Smith got to the Apocrypha and asked God if he should do that too. And God said not to translate it because there were too many interpolations by men, too many things added by people to the Apocrypha books, and so it's not worth the effort. God did say that there are many truths in the Apocrypha books that we could understand by the Holy Ghost. Alright, great apostasy, ask when, and get a day. That's one difference between Mormonism and Catholicism. Is the belief that there was a great apostasy. If there was no great apostasy, the Catholic Church is the continuation of the church that Jesus Christ started. And Protestants don't have a leg to stand on. If the great apostasy did happen, and there was no Church of Jesus Christ on the earth for hundreds or maybe even over 1,000 years, then that church would have needed to be brought back by God coming down, by God sending angels, and not just by somebody, starting a church and claiming that they felt inspired to start a church, but without angels giving them power and authority. So when did the apostasy happen? At the end of the New Testament. Approximately 100 AD, we can see in some of the New Testament letters that it was starting to happen because the New Testament letters, a lot of them or some of them, were sent out to correct errors that were creeping up. Doctrinal errors. And these doctrinal errors were creeping up because, and it's human nature because people do that, but these people that would teach false doctrines and teach doctrines different than what a different gospel than what Paul was teaching, they, we kind of like to not have apostles around. They wouldn't, miss the apostles being gone, and they eventually got what they hoped for. And they're going to also get to suffer in hell for it. But now, the last question I think is related to the previous question. How was the Bible canonized? Now, the person asking this question is a Catholic, and he's hoping that a Mormon will say, well, in 400, the Catholic Church gave us the Bible, and then he would say, aha, the Catholic Church gave it. Then, and you believe it's inspired, you have to be Catholic. No, that's a good question for Protestants or evangelical Christians. But this question shouldn't have traction in the mind of a Mormon. The Bible was assembled around 400 AD, but every single one of the books of the Bible was written a long time before that. The latest books in the Bible are close to 100 AD. So we're looking at about 300 years between the latest books in the Bible being written and the books being coalesced into the book that we now call the Bible. Now, I said this is a question for evangelicals because if somebody swears and they're certain that the Bible never, ever, ever lost anything, that we have every single syllable that Isaiah and Moses and Amos, etc. wrote down, that all of Paul's letters were transmitted exactly correctly to us. Somebody says that, then, and yeah, nothing added, nothing lost. If somebody says that, then they really should be a Catholic if the Catholic Church assembled it. But since we believe the Bible as far as it is translated correctly, we are not proven wrong by the fact that the Catholic Church picked the books in the Bible. And the Catholic Church wrote 0 books in the Bible. Pope so-and-so, year 300, 400, wrote 0 books in the Bible. So, that's all I have to say on that one. Thank you for watching. I'm not an official spokesman for the church, but I'm an active member. And to learn more, go to www.lds.org and www.mormon.org. Have a good day.